Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. In what can be a big embarrassment for Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, he has, in fact, in a public hearing, said that Canada's accusation on India about the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, the Khalistani terrorist, was based on intelligence inputs. It was not, those allegations were not based on any hard evidence. That is what he has said. Now, speaking in that public inquiry, Trudeau said that claims about Indian involvement were based on intelligence rather than conclusive evidence. He said, and I quote, I was briefed on the fact that there was intelligence from Canada and possibly from Five Eyes allies that made it fairly clear, incredibly clear, that India was involved in this. Agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of Canadian on Canadian soil. Now, remember, all this started in September last year when Justice Trudeau stood up in his parliament, in Canadian parliament, and said that the agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who India has said is a Khalistani terrorist. He was killed in Canada, and he said that agents of the government of India were responsible for his killing. India rubbished those claims, and there have been exchanges ever since. Diplomatic tensions have been on the rise. Diplomats were expelled by both the countries. But a few days ago, Canada again raked up this issue and said that Indian High Commissioner and other diplomats were uh, people of interest or involved in that killing, and that really took the relation nosedived the relations further, and India in fact expelled the diplomats from Canada, and Canada did this. So there was a, again, the diplomats were expelled. It's the lowest point in the relationship between the two countries. But Justin Trudeau, who has always been saying that government of India or the agents of the government of India were responsible for the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, now says in a public hearing that he has based those allegations on intelligence inputs rather than hard evidence. Now, this is quite a remarkable statement made by Justin Trudeau, because intelligence inputs are one thing and hard evidence is something else. Now, India has all along been saying that provide us the evidence and we will investigate the matter. Now, India says not a shred of evidence has been shared by Canada so far. Now, Canadian diplomat who was in fact summoned by the MEA before they were expelled said that Canada has shared all the evidence with India, but India has been consistent in its stand that no evidence has been shared by Canada. And now Canadian Prime Minister says that those allegations were based on intelligence inputs and not hard evidence. Now he further goes on to say that India undermined the integrity of our democracy. He says that Canada's position has been to defend India's territorial integrity. Now, all these things come at a time when the relation between the two countries have hit a rock bottom. India has hit out at Canada and Justin Trudeau and said that these are preposterous comments that were made by Canada, and India has hit back. Now, this is quite the this statement makes it very clear that Justin Trudeau, who has all along been accusing India, was making those accusations on the basis of intelligence inputs rather than hard evidence. So the fact that India has been saying that please provide us evidence when there was no evidence, because he is only saying that all those allegations were made based on evidence, but there was no evidence. It was based on intelligence inputs. And he also mentions about other countries, the Five Eyes, the other countries that have an arrangement of sharing the intelligence. The intelligence could have come from that. So clearly, that uh, accusation about the killing of a Canadian on the Canadian soil was based on intelligence inputs rather than hard evidence. Now, who is Hardeep Singh Nijjar? He is a Canadian citizen who was in Canada. He's a Khalistani supporter, and India had said that he's a Khalistani terrorist. He was killed. He was shot in Canada. And we're seeing that there are protests in Canada where Khalistani supporters have been coming onto the roads, raising slogans, taking out those protest marches, even uh, going on to the extent of showing, glorifying all those who killed former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. Now, India has many times registered a strong protest with Canada and said that take action against them in the name of free speech. They are just going about spreading propaganda and and causing harm to India. Please take action against them. But Canada hasn't taken any action against them. In fact, Canada has been saying they took the matter to the highest level. The Prime Minister in the Canadian Parliament saying that obviously government of India, agents of the government of India were responsible for the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Obviously, India has rejected all those allegations, but there have been uh, diplomatic tension between the two countries. Diplomats have been expelled. In fact, uh, the Canadian ministers and officials have been making many statements since then. In fact, we can play an old sound bite of from a Canadian foreign minister that he had said about this issue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have a statement to make. The government of Canada has done what India has long been asking for. Canada has provided credible, irrefutable evidence of ties between agents of the government of India and a murder of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. Now it is time for India to live up to what it said it would do and look into those allegations. It is in the interest of both our countries and the peoples of our countries to get to the bottom of this. Canada stands ready to cooperate with India.
Right, that was not the Canadian foreign minister, that was the Canadian diplomat when he was summoned by the MEA uh, when India registered a strong protest after the recent allegations by Canada. When he came out after meeting with the officials of the MEA, he made that statement and said that all the evidence has been shared with India. Now, here is the contradiction. He says that all the evidence has been shared with India. The Prime Minister of Canada says that those accusations were made not on the basis of evidence but on intelligence inputs. And India has been consistently saying right from the first day since September last year when Canadian Prime Minister first made that statement in the Parliament that give us the evidence and we will look into the matter. But Canadian officials say that evidence has been given to the government of India. Canadian Prime Minister, who has been making those accusations, saying that that it was based on intelligence inputs and Canada had no hard evidentiary proof. So that is the contradiction. Clearly, Canada will have to come clear on this. They'll have to have a clarity before making those accusations. Obviously, it's an issue that has really harmed the relation between the two countries. What has happened now is that in the public hearing, Canadian Prime Minister has said that those accusations were made based on intelligence inputs rather than hard evidence. So clearly, more questions than answers that Canada will have to provide to provide to shed more light on this issue and to give more clarity. We'll keep a track of this story, but for now, thanks so much for joining in and for watching the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.